Okay, so linear relationships is all about graphing straight lines. That's what linear relationships mean. So that means we need to look at the Cartesian plane. The Cartesian plane is the fancy name we give to our graph that looks like this with an x and a y axis. So it has two axes. The horizontal axis is always the x-axis. See it down here? X-axis. And the vertical axis is always the y-axis. And that, of course, divides our graph into 4 quadrants, which we can number. Okay, the first quadrant, see it written here, this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So it goes around in the anti-clockwise direction. The center of the Cartesian plane, right here in the middle, is the origin. It has the coordinates 0, 0. X is 0, y is 0. A Cartesian coordinate, or a point, is written in brackets with the x number first, comma, then the y number. To plot a point on the Cartesian plane, you start by going left or right from the origin, depending if it's negative you go to the left, if it's positive you go to the right. So you do the x-axis first, and then you go up or down for the y value. And then it says here, a linear relationship is a set of ordered pairs. When the graph is drawn, it gives a straight line. Okay, so there's different ways that you can write down the equation of a straight line. It can be in this form here, y is equal to mx plus b. Have you guys seen that before? I hope so. Saw that in year 8. Yes. We call that the gradient form of a straight line because the m stands for the gradient and the b stands for the y-intercept. We're going to be looking at that one a fair bit in this topic. Then we have this form here, ax plus by plus c equals 0. It's also a straight line. That one's called the general form of a straight line. And there's some examples there of types of equations that look like that. Then there's a third one here as well, ax plus by equals d. But basically all you need to do, if you want to know if something is a straight line or not, you look at the equation and just see if it has normal x's and normal y's. Okay, you don't want any squares or cubes or any powers on the x's or y's, and you don't want any fractions where the x or the y is on the bottom of a fraction. Okay, otherwise it should be a straight line. So here's a bit of practice. It says practice. Circle which of the following are linear. Remember, linear means straight line. So the first one, y equals 2x plus 5. Is that going to be a straight line? Does it have normal x's and normal y's? Yeah. It's actually in the y equals mx plus b form. So yes, that one is a straight line. So circle it. What about the next one? 3x plus 4y plus 8 equals 0. Do you think that's a straight line? Yes? Yes, over here. Will, you said no? What makes you think no? Do you think because the other one was a yes, this one will be a no? Unfortunately not. It is a yes. So that is a straight line as well. Remember, you're just looking at those x's. It's like a 3x. It's a normal power of x, just a 1x sitting there and a 1y sitting there. That is a straight line. How about the next one? Y equals 3x minus 7. Straight line? Yes, good. Next one, 3x squared plus 4y cubed. No. See, there's powers on the x's and the y's. That means it's not a straight line. I'm going to put a line through it. Nope, that one is not a line. What about the next one? xy equals 4x minus 4.
Yes.
Ooh, I technically did yes, no. Because we can't multiply the x and the y together. It should be an x and a y separately. Okay, I didn't mention that before. So no, that one can't be either. 7x plus 4y minus 5 equals 0. Yes. Normal x, normal y terms. Next one, next page, the whole heap of these. Maybe I'll do one more and then I'll give you a second to try and do the rest. So y equals minus 7x minus 4. Yes, it is. Good. All right, so see if you can finish off the rest of that list. Which ones are straight lines? Circle them. Yep.
Well, if it's a fraction, is it still a straight line?
If the x is on the bottom, no. So the next one I've got there has got a y squared in it. So is that going to be a straight line? Nope. So nope, cross that one out, not a straight line.
What if the y's on the bottom?
Yep, can't be a straight line either. It's just be a normal x term and a normal y term. Not a straight line. You doing this, Clayton? Yeah? You've got to do the rest, you've done them all?
Yeah.
Everyone had a chance? Go through the whole list. So I have a y squared in that first one, so I've crossed it out. I have an x squared in the next one, so I've crossed it out. The next one, normal x, normal y, so that one's a line. Y equals 5 over x, nope, can't have x on the bottom. Next one can't have y on the bottom, so cross that one out. Next one, y equals 2x plus 5, that's going to be a line. Yeah, well.
For the fraction ones, if it's the y and the x on the top, would it be straight?
As long as there's a number on the bottom, then yes, it would be fine. Yeah. Next one, normal x term, normal y term, straight line. Y squared in this one, so nope. Y squared in the next one, so nope. Y on the bottom, so nope. Normal x, normal y, that's a line. X squared, so not a line. X and a y next to each other means nope, that's not going to work. Normal x, normal y, that one will be a line. Y squared, so that won't work. And the next one has x squared and it has a y on the bottom, so definitely not a line. Okay, did you get those ones, same as me? Excellent. So we want to be able to plot things now on our Cartesian plane. Remember that the first number is the x and the second number is the y. So first of all, I need some numbers on my graph here. So from the origin, which is the center, you count positive numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4 as you go to the right. That is on the lines, okay? We're on the lines for those. And negative numbers as you go to the left, -1, -2, -3, -4. Then as you go up, it's counting up positive numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative numbers as you go down, -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, so you need to have that all labelled on there. To plot a point, this first one, 4, 1. The 4 is the x value. So you come to the x-axis and you find the 4, which is right on the end over here. If you can see my thing, no, you probably can't see it, but anyway, the 4. And then you go up to 1, and it's right there, that orange dot that I'm drawing. So 4 for the x, and then you go up 1 for the y value. And that's my point A. So I'm going to put a capital A there, because that was my first one. Okay, now we're going to do B. B was -2, so I go across the horizontal axis there, I go to the -2, and then +3 means I go up 2 +3 up here. And that's the point B. Yeah, makes sense? Does it? Yeah? Okay, good, let's do another one. For C, X is 1, so on the horizontal numbers, 1, and then Y is -1. So we go down to -1, and that's point C. These points should all be on the grid lines. Okay, not in between. Our numbers are on the lines, which means our dots are going to be all on the lines. Next one, D is -3, and then down to -4, which is down here, D. And 0, 0, that's an easy one, or I hope it is. 0, 0 is our origin in the middle, that's E. F is 3 for the x-axis. 0 means it doesn't go up or down, it's just going to be sitting on that line there. That's going to be F. and G starts at 0 for the X, which is right in the center, but then it goes to 3 for the Y, so it's going to come up, and it's going to be sitting on the Y-axis up here. So that's G. Yeah? Okay, good. Because if we can plot random points like that, we will then hopefully be able to plot some straight lines. So I'm going to give you an equation. Here's the first one. Y is equal to X, take away 1. And we know there's a normal X there, a normal Y. That's the equation of a straight line. I want to draw it. To draw it, I need to have some points, right? Like what I just had. So we fill in a table of values. So I'm going to, each one of those X values, I'm going to sub it into the equation where the X is. So that's here, X, and I have to take away 1. So my first X value was 3. So you can do all this on your calculator. Minus 3, sorry. So you have minus 3. That's the X. And then my rule, my formula over here says I have to subtract another 1. What does that give me? Minus 4, right? So that first one, the Y value, is going to be a minus 4. Then I just have to change my X value. This minus 3, that is the X value. I now want to change it to the next number. I want to change it to minus 2. So you can retype it if you want to, but you can use your arrow keys. Just go, let's delete the 3 and put a 2 there. Okay, so that's going to be minus 3. Okay, now I want to put my next X value in there, which is minus 1. So use the back arrows again. And that's minus 2. Now I want to sub in 0. So make sure you delete the minus sign this time. It's 0, take away 1 is negative 1. And by the time we've done a few of these, hopefully you can start to see a pattern with what's happening with those Y values. What's happening? Minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. What's the next one going to be? 0. We're going up by 1 every time. So 0, 1, and 2. There should always be a pattern if it's a straight line. Okay? All right, now we're going to plot them. So these are points. They're just not written in brackets like the other ones that we had. We take the X value from the top and the Y value underneath it. Okay, we need numbers on there. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Positive numbers as we go up, negative numbers as we go down. Okay, so the first point, using these ones that I've highlighted here in yellow, X is minus 3, so I come across to the minus 3, and Y is minus 4, means I come down to the minus 4. And I put a dot right here. I don't have to put a letter on it, I'm just going to do all the dots. So moving to the next one across, X is minus 2, down to minus 3. Next one across again, minus 1 for the X value, down to minus 2. X is 0, Y is negative 1. X is 1, Y is 0. X is 2, Y is 1. And the last one, X is 3, Y is 2. And those dots are in a perfect straight line. Now this is a graphing topic, so it would be good if you have a ruler for this topic. I probably have a couple. We draw a line through all of those dots. Can you guys share this one? You put a line through all of those dots and you put arrows on the ends, because if I was to keep subbing in more values of X, if I kept putting in more numbers out here, it would keep going. This is just the ones that I subbed in. But the line would just keep going forever, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's how you draw a line. Let's practice it again. Here is a new one. We can see the equation, y is equal to x plus 2. So that means for every x value, I have to plus 2. So let's see if we can find the pattern. My first x value is minus 3, and I need to plus 2. So that's negative 1. Okay, now my next x value is minus 2. So minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Okay, try the next one. What happens if I put in minus 1? It will be a 1. If you sub in 0. 2. Is anyone else doing this other than Will?
Yes.
With what calculator are you doing it? Oh, good. So what's the next one going to be? And? Excellent, because you can see the pattern. Okay? So, drawing this nice and neatly, graphs always need to be ruled up properly, and the line that you draw needs to be ruled. So label your axes. 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, -4. Positive numbers going up, negative numbers going down. Okay, ready to plot the points. So the first one, -3 down to -1, x value first. So on the x-axis we go to -3, then we go down to -1. There's my first dot. Second one, -2 is 0, so it doesn't go up or down, it just sits on the -2. At -1, we go up to +1. At 0, we go up to +2. At 1, we go up to +3. At 2, we go up to +4. And at 3, we should go to 5, but we don't have space for that, so we're going to have to stop there. And we get our ruler. And we draw a beautiful straight line going through those dots. Extend it out past your dots just a little bit so that you can put arrows on the ends. Okay, so those two graphs that I just drew, the only difference was the second one was up a little bit higher, wasn't it? They had the same slope. Okay, the hardest part, I think, for these is making sure you get your table right. So we're just going to practice that. This question 3 here is just filling in the table. We're not going to draw the graph of that one, but we need to get the table right. So the equation is y equals 2x minus 2. So what am I going to do to my x value? So my x value is -3. How am I going to find my y value here? Did you say 4? No, it's not 4. What are we doing? What is that 2? What is the 2 at the front here doing?
2
Times. Yes. Very good. It's 2 times whatever the value is, -3. And then you minus 2 more. You see how that works? We're saying 2x. So x was -3, so that's my 2x. And then minus 2 more. 2x minus 2. Okay, that's what it wants me to do. Equals -8. Type in the next one. So you can retype the whole thing, or you can just use your back arrows. The only number that's going to change is that -3, and I want it to be a -2 now. And it gets -6. Okay, type in the -1. What are you going to get? -4 is correct. Type in the 0. What do you get? Very good. So what is the pattern that's developing here? We're adding on 2 every time. So the next one's going to be 0, 2, and then 4. Okay, question 4. It says to complete the following table of values. We're not drawing the graph again, we're practicing these tables of values. So we have 4x. What does that 4x mean? Times. I need to do 4 times by the -3. So here it is, 4 times the -3. There's my 4x. And then -4. So -4 equals -16. Okay. What about when it's minus 2?
Minus
Sorry, say again?
4.
Yep. What about when it's negative 1?
Minus 8.
Very good. What about 0?
Minus 4.
Yeah. What's the pattern?
4.
It's going up by 4. So the next one's going to be 0, 4, and 8. Okay, so that is what we're practicing today. Your questions start here on page 6. You're doing exercise 5A.